¿Qué pasa, amigos? How you doing? So I did my Sterling, which you guys should be getting now, and I'm going to do my little personal bit. Then I do my live event with my members at 12:30. I didn't sleep very well last night. I don't know why. Just couldn't sleep. And I got on a Gerard Butler bit where I was watching all his movies. I kind of like those movies like Olympus Has Fallen. I don't know if he was in that one, but there's a bunch of White House movies, where they fight and they win. America Wins. So let me tell you, I wanted to tell you about my phone. My business phone, I didn't know had some sort of glitch in it. So like, I don't think I was getting any emails since November. So like I've got hundreds of emails. So I just wanted you to know I just got them. And I don't know what happened. That particular phone's done that before. And I'm working on that. And I also wanted you to know, I watched that Bee Gees show last night on HBO. How Do You Mend a Broken Heart? It was good. I liked it. And I normally don't pick up deceased people after watching a show, but I got Maurice real quick. And Barry had said I would, he had fights with his brothers. You know how brothers are. He had some regrets because it sounds like they were all pretty ego based, but they sure did do good music back in the day. Anyway, so he wanted to talk about that. He said that he would not do one record if he could have his brothers back. I thought that was so cool. And then I could hear Maurice, and Maurice said, I'll tell him it's lovely here and we're good. Here we go. This is a new camera that Sterling got me, but interesting. It's done a couple of these things. Sorry about that, you guys. We'll try this. I'll try to not bend my head. I know the last video I did, I was bending my head, and Jesus Christ, it was like I was like this. You could land an airplane. See, you could land an airplane on my forehead. Anyway, so I like the Bee Gees. I mean, disco back in the day, and I don't want to age myself. That was, this girl used to party. In my day, you usually had live bands, and I would go dancing almost every night, drink like a fish, go home, wake up and still be wide awake for work, and then go out that evening. Then at some point in time when I was, I think I was in college, me and some girlfriends started going to Treasure Island. That's where I met my first husband, who was Navy. And plenty of menses out there. And they used to wait for myself and all my friends, the guys, and they would have our tequila sunrises all ready to go. Listen, I would drink, but I don't recall ever getting buzzed, because let me tell you, I used to dance. In fact, that's how my first husband started looking for me, was because he thought I was a good dancer. So we used to have a band called Y&T. I don't know if you know, Yesterday and Today. The band that played at my wedding was called Black Magic, I think. And they used to do one of my favorite songs. She's a brick, do house. So I was, good times, my friends, good times. I think this camera is going to unfocus more often than the other one. We'll try the other one next week, okay? So then Maurice just was laughing. He had this big smile, and he's saying, we're all together. The family's together. And what Barry is, he's missing the family. He's pretty much lost. He has a wife that he loves, that he's been with, and beautiful children. But there was a big joy. Now listen, the younger ones, Andy, the one that died at age 30, I think he was using too much cocaine and alcohol, and it affected his heart. He had a little more difficulty in his crossing, but the other two were well. I think the father outlived two of the boys, so that was sad. I never saw when the mom crossed. But anyway, so that was cool. And it reminded me because John Travolta was in Saturday Night Live. And by the way, the Bee Gees were at some place in France where Elton John had done an album. They said the place was horrible, but they had heard from a guy, a big producer, who said, do you think you can give us some songs for a soundtrack for Saturday? They didn't even have the name of it yet, but it was going to be, I thought that Saturday Night Fever was a great movie. It really had a story, just like I like John Travolta in Urban Cowboy. I thought it, very simple message. Well, I got me a real cowboy. So years, probably back in the 80s, I think I was already a nurse, but I had gone down to LA with my friend Tris and his wife at the time. And he was playing drums for Richard Marx. You guys remember Richard Marx? He's still around. He's a great, great musician. And he invited me to go. It was a little club in Beverly Hills, and it was Richard Marx opening of his new album. I think his dad was a bigwig in the music business. And I always kind of liked, in fact, I had a girlfriend, her and I went to see Saturday Night Fever. And we came home and I threw the cards and it said that I would meet John Travolta. And her card said she wouldn't. And I said, neener, 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 I met John Travolta. And I'm not feeling the same anymore, but just FYI. So, so guess who comes into this gig? John Travolta with Marilu Henner, who was his girlfriend at the time, and his entourage. Barry Manilow was there, Lionel Richie was there, and they had this little stage. And so before Richard Marx came on, they were playing music like a jukebox. And so they were playing all the greats, the music you could dance to. I went out there and danced. I thought for sure if John Travolta saw me dancing, he would have picked me for his next movie. I was doing it and dancing. My face was probably beet red. And I kept glancing over and he wasn't paying a bit of attention to me. Marilu Henner was looking like, oh, who's that crazy one? Anyway, so I danced and I was sweating. I was dancing so hard. But there was just one thing I did it's not a somersault, a spin wheel, and then landed into leg spread, you know what I'm saying? Like cheerleading on the floor. But the thing is, if you're sweating like a pig and you forgot to put your underwear on, you're going to stick. And this girl, the suction was so bad. Everything's true up until the somersault and then going into the splits. Everything was true up to that point. I danced my butt off. He never looked at me once. He was in that ego frame at that time. He talks about this when he did that movie, he was just getting discovered again. And they said he changed after that because he got very ego based. He pulled his white Rolls Royce up in front of the club and, didn't say hello to Richard Marx. He went out to the car. Marilu Henner was the one who stayed. Very nice woman, by the way. And I didn't hold that against him, but I did call my friend and said, my other friends, I said, can I call from their home? My friend Tris. Can I call my friend? Yeah. Hey, guess what? Guess who I met tonight? John Travolta. And he was all over me, girl, like a cheap suit. My friends all, what? Well, you got to just, stretch it a little bit. So anyway, okay. So enough about that. Just wanted to give you guys that little story, my little John Travolta story. And that little hit with Maurice. I was a Bee Gees fan. I bought the records, unlike with Tom Petty. Tom Petty, it's not that I wasn't a fan. I never went that direction. I don't know why, because he was fantastic. I love him now. Wished I could have seen a concert. But he came to me full force post-death. But the Bee Gees, I remember hearing one of them died at age 53. And I thought, oh, gosh, because, I love their music. Okay, so I also wanted to tell you that when the Supreme Court kicked out that nothing burger, and thank you guys for all your input. Linda! Oh my God, you were dead on. they kicked it out, and they also did it within the day, because remember I said if it doesn't happen tonight, it'll be tomorrow, and it was that next night, which was a Friday night, which was good on their part. Anyway, so we were all excited, like, yay. Did you see? That's great. They kicked it out. But in that moment, I heard something, and it was a higher power than myself. It wasn't a reincarnated energy or George Washington or anything. It was that solemn voice that I get on occasion. And what I heard was, this isn't the end. And it's funny because just today I saw Trump talking to someone. I keep asking him if he's going to step down. And he said, well, the problem is you have illegitimate president. I would feel terrible for this country having, that whole voting thing was fraud, and it's not. And people are eating this up. And that's the sadness I felt when I heard that voice say, this isn't the end. So let's take a look, see. This isn't the end. There's a lot of changes that are going to happen, you guys. It is such a friction with things right now. I mean, it all started with Obama. I mean, there was this friction going on, but Obama and this Trump was not the racist that came in. He is racist. He's the one that said it's okay to be ugly like this and to lie like this. And we are actually getting a taste of what happened when Hitler was here. And so it's sort of like, okay, this is what I want to tell you. We are going to become better from this, okay? That I can tell you. There's no ending. I even see Trump's abilities to try to get people on his side are lessened, that people aren't paying attention. What I'm feeling is there's a lot of shifting with this universe, shifting in the weather. And I see people kind of waking up and paying attention. But apparently these people that came in with Trump had been alive, or they're reincarnates from a time like Hitler during the Civil War. So they had a chance to come together and do something for their fellow man, but a lot of them chose to be ugly. And as you know, Donald Trump met with what they called the Proud Boys yesterday in the White House, the Proud Boys. So you might as well just have the KKK there. It's just really sad. Let me just ask what, and then we'll get on to this beautiful energy form that said, it's not over. I just felt like this, boom, boom, boom. I felt shifting with the earth, not more like weather related, natural disasters, and this democratic nation is a good nation. And when it runs the right way, it's good. But there will be changes to the Constitution, just like Trump doing all this pardoning coming up. That's not going to stick, by the way. There's some constitutional things that are going to come up. We will change things. So, okay. Let me look. All right. So what did the Proud Boys have to say? What, carrying those big AKs? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. These are human beings. These are Americans too. Oh, they were burning a Black Lives Matter, because I'll tell you, this nation is racist, a lot of it. But this is what I got scared about, because I told whoever this was talking to me, and I saw the ugliness of the racism in this nation. I mean, do you know our World War I and II vets, our Black veterans, couldn't get the GI Bill because they were Black? I mean, it's just one thing. My indigenous family, my Mexican side, they're just horrible. So what did the Proud Boys, why did they meet with Trump? I just feel like, okay, tell me, you guys we can discuss this later. I just feel like he would like some sort of upheaval, like he'd like people to march in the streets. But there are a crowd. There was a little bit of a crowd, not as big as it can get, not as big as the Women's March, but more people didn't vote for Trump than did. But he keeps saying this lie. What did the Proud Boys? I think Trump just emphasized the fact that this is a stolen election. Did you guys see what that Wisconsin judge said? Why are you picking these two counties? Why do you want to disenfranchise these two counties? Is it because they're mostly the Black counties? Because you're not touching anybody else. Oh, those ones did okay, but these two counties. The racism is as clear day. Even on that BG show, they were talking about how some disc jockey in Chicago decided that disco sucked. And so he had this big event where everybody brings your disco records and we're going to blow them up. Well, one of the people that worked at that stadium said, wait a second. They were bringing Otis Redding, Marvin Gaye. They were bringing R&B. They weren't really bringing disco, some disco, but you know, disco was actually started underground because for a long time in New York, it was illegal to dance for gay people to dance together. Can you believe that in New York? So they had this little underground thing. And so the gays and Blacks had this beautiful, you know, thing going on. But he said greed, this guy that was in charge of Studio 54, he said greed came in and they were doing like the disco duck, just really making it ugly. So, and I looked in the crowd when that one kid said it was all R&B records. And I looked at the crowd and it would have been just as familiar as being a Trump crowd. It was all whites and they tore the place up. So they were supposed to have a game, a doubleheader, and they had to cancel it. Okay, so tell me what the Proud Boys had to say. I didn't sleep well last night, you guys, but I'm still yip-yapping. What did the Proud Boys have to say? Do you know people are around Trump right now and shaking their head and almost like, when's somebody going to stop this? That's what I'm getting. When is somebody going to stop this? Before I forget, I want to put this down too. Okay. Yeah, he wanted them to start a war. They're on the side, you know, he said, stand ready. Okay. Then he tries to act like, well, I don't even know who the Proud Boys in, but he brought them in and told them to start trouble. He hinted around with his hands clean. I will tell you something. And I've told you this before. There will be cells of people that are going to create heartbreak. But it's going to be wiped out. I can see it. 2 years. Give it 2 years. Okay, now. Okay, so let's just take a look at how Trump is feeling right now. How is Trump feeling right now? Does he look into reality, or is he, I see almost like those devil's eyes. What is he planning? He's talking to people, talking to the people that feed him. It's almost like there is evil out there, and it's like the evil is sucking on him. Like they like him. They like that energy. And people aren't even being real. They're not even saying, gee, golly, we are losing even in the Supreme Court. No, let me tell you, there'll be threats to them too. I don't see anything happening with a Supreme Court justice, but I mean, they're saying, yeah, they need to go. They're this and they're that. So it's pretty ugly. What can you tell me? What is he thinking? He's furious still. He's not sleeping very well. He keeps thinking they're going to do something. Now, I think tomorrow with the electoral votes, if you looked at Sterling, he thought it was going to go smoothly. So do I. But this is what the guy that said to me after I heard that we had won in the Supreme Court. He said, it's not over. There's more to come. So before he leaves, there's more to come. So let's take a look at that. He's mustering up ideas in his head as best as he can. He's looking for someone to help him out. He's very disappointed in Barr too, by the way. See, the thing is, he's causing so much chaos, he's cutting himself. He's cutting himself. And he's talking to Russia. Russia's saying, just hang in there. Somebody from China texted me something, some China news thing, texted me something about Hunter being involved in all this stuff. And it's interesting because Trump was involved with a lot of China stuff. So is his daughter Ivanka, but nothing about that was mentioned, just Hunter. So I don't know what that was about, if that really was China. Why would they waste their time with me? He's battling, he's battling. He's battling to the end. Here's Biden coming in the environment. So he's really hoping that he could change this, but look, he has to gather his things and move out. Listen, he will try to stay. He wants to cover up money situations. So I don't know what that's about, but there's money. Hold on. Okay, whoever talked to me, can you give us a little more information? We are here. United States is losing. The thing is, this is what they want me to tell you guys, that the people, even the Republicans that stepped away from Donald Trump, are showing honor and true love and dedication to this nation. This fabric of Donald Trump, the way he ripped us up, is part of the new beginning. So fear not. We are here. We are with you. And I even see racial tensions within 2 years starting to calm down. Like that gal, the tall gal that's running against, she's Asif or anyway, she posed with some guy that murdered people with racist, like a KKK or something. She posed for a picture with him. So, you know, don't start pissing off the people that you're hurting, because they will gather together. And that's what I was hearing. We will gather together. Nations, the nation, within the nation, there will be an uprising, and people are tired of it. Let me tell you, if Trump had stayed in, a lot of these people in the red states, they're goodbye Social Security. And now they're talking about succession. So anyway. Okay, so let's look. What do you want me to tell them about the new beginning? There's a lot of natural courses that are going to take place, going to shift the energy of the way we look at things. Financially, we're going to go through a lot of changes because a lot of the money is going out. Trump spent a lot of it. That's where people are really going to get upset. Don't forget that I said that. They're going to get upset when they start finding out how much the Trump administration and his people spent for themselves with taxpayers' money. Okay, you guys. So this is good. Some of you guys stopped watching the news, which is good, but they want you to, when you can, in a moment, breathe and send out that ball of energy to mankind. This uneasiness, we're off-centered right now due to the far right and all this drama. It's causing, it's like we're trying to land, but our wings are up, you know, we're not stable. We're not doing this. So they want me to tell you that this too will pass. Biden will actually heal a lot of people. The uglies are going to ugly. They're going to say that he's this or he's that. Did you hear they don't even want Dr. Jill Biden using the doctor word because she's showing off? Why is she using that? Now it begins. like with Obama. Now it begins. They just looked for everything with him. So I'm telling you, who else is a racist that I picked up was Mitch McConnell. I don't care what you say. I think he has a son-in-law that's a black man, but they don't want the people that struggle. Like if you're rich, it's cool, but they don't want the people that struggle to think they have any voice. Because do you remember when Lincoln died and they started the slaves were no longer slaves and they were able to get properties. And then they started running for Congress and they started building towns and they started having sort of a pride about who they were. And guess who came in and burnt their towns down? And even World War I and World War II, there's that two guys that were fighting in France. The French loved them. They were heroes in France. They come back to Chicago in a train with their uniforms on, because if you were black and you wore your uniform, that was vulgar. And then they dragged them and killed them. Those two guys who had just been treated like heroes in France, they come to the United States, boom. So it's just that trying to make people, that's what they're doing. They want you to just stand over there and let us run the business of the world. So anyway, this too shall change. There's more years to take care of the racism in this country, because our youth, even though some of the youth is being, helped with these nasty parents, but things will start changing. People will start looking at things differently. Okay, now I wanted to ask about sedition. I wanted to ask if Nancy Pelosi will not sit those congressmen, or is she just going to let this pass? Because people are coming forward saying, there's a military guy that wrote on Twitter and said, had I done something like this, I would be court-martialed. You're not supposed to work against your own country. Anything for him. It's sickening because he's not a very good person. It's like the trash he talks about people behind their backs. He is not loyal. Look what he's doing to Bill Barr. Pissed off that Barr did something. Okay, well, let's talk about firing him. We'll look at that next. Will Nancy Pelosi come forward? Sorry, I keep going down, you guys. And like I said, I got a forehead you can land a plane on. Well, Nancy Pelosi, I'm not seeing that they're removed, but I am seeing something. They'll be hit with something. They're going to get hit with something. Mark my words. Justice is coming back. Karma's coming back. See, they come from the places where everybody voted for Trump. And they almost felt like they had to do what the master said. I see them waiting for her to do something. She's trying to treat this with kid gloves, but I'm going to tell you, there will be some sort of censure or something like that. That's what I heard. I do see a news conference. I do see them saying we're going to censure these particular Republicans. Let me tell you, in about 2 years, a lot of these people will be gone. Okay, so Barr. And I don't see people succeeding from the union, you guys. That's not going to happen. Could you imagine Kentucky succeeding from the union? Then they have to fend for themselves. And McConnell was fat. He's got all kinds of money. You think he's going to help those poor people? Nope. Here's the thing, too. This is what I just heard. In times like pandemics, when things like this, it's not about taking away people's rights. It's about saving people. And these people literally think because Trump said it's a nothing burger, it's nothing, but it's just a flu. Even though he did an interview and he heard in his own voice say it was awful. He literally led lambs to the, to the cliff. I mean, he does not care, period. He tried to make us take a drug because he was backing it. I'm telling you, he actually wanted to get one of these vaccines with his name on it. Nearly 300,000 are gone. So tell me about Barr. What's happening with Barr? Barr shaking his head. He didn't do the Hunter Biden thing because I'm almost feeling like they didn't have enough to throw him under the bus. So we'll see when they start getting into this. But I also feel because he had said that you couldn't do anything with someone running for president right before they run, that he followed their own rules. And Trump is furious. Trump is saying, well, if folks had known about what Hunter did, they said they wouldn't have voted for him. Negative. You'd be surprised. People are tired. I mean, look at the guy with grabbing the you-know-what and that whole thing. You would have thought he would have failed, but people like that. People like him being forthright and ugly. And so why can't we get a little bit more forthright? We don't want to do the same thing being ugly like that, but you see what I'm saying. Okay, so Barr. Okay, I just felt that Trump is nervous about if he got rid of Barr because Barr knows where the bodies are buried. Are you going to get, no, I heard no. All the things he did for Trump. You see how he is. Well, I mean, the death card is in the hopes, dreams, and wishes. There was a weird attraction between Barr and Trump. They both like ugly. Don't ask me why Barr decided to maybe be, I think something else happened that made Barr decide to be more to the letter of the law, not going underhanded as much. He still was underhanded. But look at this, there's strength here. So I think he wants to get rid of him, but he stifles himself, or people tell him, dude, you probably shouldn't do that. Barr's not getting a pardon. Yeah, he's going to do the pardon thing, you guys. Don't worry. A lot of it will be overturned. It's so funny, all the things he accuses Biden of doing. He does it. Okay, let's just take a look at our future president. Just make sure he's okay. Tell me the status of Biden, who were on Time Magazine, and Kamala. I do think the AG won't be announced until we're right on top of it. He's getting plenty of rest. He's sitting on his horse. He loves his wife, let me tell you. A lot of information going back and forth. And he's finding out some ugliness, like he's finding out some thievery or underhandedness. He's worried about his son, but it's going to work out. God, he's got a lot of work to do, you guys. A new beginning, a new change, a new direction. By the time he gets his feet wet, I see them doing the vaccine thing, which is going to help with a lot of people. That's my opinion. Don't write me about, don't be advertising for them. I just feel like it probably won't be till next fall, September, October, that there's some real good things taking place. I see some masters over here, you guys. And I see like a sun rising and the brilliancy of the sun and the light encompassing the world. It's not just the United States, it's other countries that are going through a hardship. But they said this isn't over, okay? That's what I'm going to tell you. I still see the black wreath, by the way. So some could be coming up before Trump leaves. Not Trump, but something's coming up. So, okay, you guys, I got to get off. I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. I'll be back next week. We still got some things to talk about. Okay, ciao.